So last time we saw Savitri rebutting what Yama had told her, Death had told her earlier, that after all your love is nothing but a vital passion. The passion of the physical, it is meaningless, etc., all that. Savitri had taken care of all those arguments, and now it is the turn of Death to carry dialogue forward. He has, in essence, no direct answer to what she had asserted, but he brings out, puts forward another point of view. He takes another turn in his argument, you see. What did Savitri assert? Of course, she said that I cherish God the fire, not God the dream. God the fire, not God the dream. It's a very, very big statement, very powerful, deep, occult statement. And if it has to be answered, countered, it has to be countered again with equal occult force, if not a greater occult force. If the person who is arguing against her has to win over it, he has to put into it a greater occult force. Then only it will become meaningful. Now, what is the thing which Savitri was asserting all along? Essentially, she was making 2 points, or we can see the whole thing from two angles. First, she is rebutting the arguments of Death, dismissing them, and then she is putting something else. She has first rebutted the arguments of Death. What are the arguments? That all this love, etc., all you are calling is falsehood. It is made of passion only. Her love is not, she has to say, she has to assert, she was rather asserting that her love is not lust and passion. It is not a vital instinct, the response of the glands of the physical. It is something more than that, something deeper than that. She, of course, first dismisses Death by saying that you are talking of falsehood, not of truth. There is an element of truth in what you are saying, but it is more covered by falsehood. So she first dismisses the falsehood, and the falsehood is that her love is nothing but lust. See, her love is not lust and passion. Then she also says that the world, this creation as it is now, has put on a garb, is a mask. And it is that mask of God that has to go away, and then you will see the reality behind all these things. World shall put off the disguises of this creation, unveil itself from terror of death, unveil from terror, dissolve everything from sin. One who can build a wondrous field. So that is the assertion she is making. Wondrous field. One, who is that one who has come from the wondrous field? Satyavan. One who came, built a wondrous field, this creation. Satyavan. How did he build it? By his presence itself. It has happened because it's Satya. And then asserted the presence and work. She asserted the presence and work of the dual power. The dual power, she says, is the presence of Satyavan and Savitri together. They are the dual power, and she asserted their work in this creation. Now, Death has to take care of these points in his argument, what we are going to see now. So while he has to take care of these arguments, he has to use 188 lines. You see? Yeah. But he is not really taking care of those points. He is rather bringing forward another point of view. He is giving another twist to the whole dialogue, to the whole debate, you see. And that is what is going to happen in these 188 lines. Yeah, it's a long speech, you see. 188 or say roughly 200 lines would mean he will be speaking for roughly 8 or 10 minutes, you see. You see. Non-stop, you see. Yeah, monologue, yeah. Yeah, well, for us, we are 188 lines are for us. So, so for us, it'll be about, 8-10 minutes roughly, you see. So she has to quietly bear all that. But death once more inflicted on her heart the majesty of his calm and dreadful voice. That is really something great about death. Something which can stand against everything, you see, calm. Of course, it's a dreadful voice. Dreadful voice for the weak soul. It is not for Savitri dreadful. It is for we poor creatures, it is dreadful, you see. And he starts with all that we have been talking of dual power, this thing, that thing, is all nonsense. It is a hallucination. It is an imagination. It is your dream, you see. A bright hallucination are thy thoughts. So now he has shifted the point. Earlier he was talking about passion. Now he is going to talk about thoughts, mental. So the dialogue is now building up to a higher level, you see. And being the dialogue at the mental level, it has to have a long session. You see, mental beings keep on arguing, you see, as would do. A prisoner held, what are you? Who are you after all? You are a prisoner. Prisoner of what? Of thoughts. You are caught in your own thoughts, your own idea. You are a mental being. You are caught in that, you see. A prisoner held by a spiritual God. Held. Held means pulled, dragged. Dragged. The way you drag your luggage with the help of a rope, that is called held. So in that way, by the spiritual cord, you are held constantly. A prisoner, you are a prisoner being dragged of thy own sensuous will with ardent slave, Thou sentest eagle poised to meet the sun, world's wing with the red splendor of thy heart. World's wing with the red splendor of thy heart. What poetry! This death is really a very good poet, you see. Wing, world's wing with the red splendor of thy heart. The words have wings and they're flying. With what? The red splendor, the passion of your heart. It is because of that passion of your heart, your words are being coming out of that, you see. Words. Now you see, this is a practically monosyllabic line. Words winged with the red splendor of thy heart. Except this, all are monosyllabic words, you see. And that gives a kind of force. And the line starts with words winged. That is spondy, very forceful, strong, with the red splendor, with the red splendor. See, so the first foot is spondy, the second foot is with the pyrrhic, short. The third foot is again is Spondy, resplend. Red? Passion. Yeah. Heart. Resplend of thy heart. So you see, this is a very typical kind of a line. You have got words being Spondy, then a Pyrrhic, then again another Spondy, and another Pyrrhic. Pyrrhic means short. Spondy means strong, you see, accent. So, voice winged with the red splendor of thy heart. This is practically, although it is an I am, it is practically a Spondy again, because thy gets a kind of a stress in the whole. Voice winged with the splendor of thy heart, you see. So you have a kind of a stress on thy coming, you see. But knowledge dwells not in the passionate heart. That is his argument. You have been talking high, lofty things, etc., but it is a passion. It is only the red splendor. And there is no knowledge. It is empty of knowledge. Your passion is empty of knowledge. Knowledge dwells not in the passionate heart. You don't know things. You don't understand things at all. You are only talking out of emotion. Now again here you see, words vain to the splendor of thy heart, but knowledge dwells not in the passionate heart. Now actually the repetition of heart almost immediately after, in the two lines, is a traditional flaw. But here it is necessity. You can't use any other word here apart from heart. But knowledge dwells not in the passionate heart. You can't say knowledge dwells not in the passionate soul. You see, it doesn't convey that sense at all. You can't say passionate bosom. You can't convey passionate breast. You can't say that. None of those words should. You have to have nothing but heart. Passionate love. Love it is. Yeah, but love has a different sense. You think that will be better? No. But knowledge dwells not in the passionate love. Well, it may pass. Yeah. At that time, Shivandu didn't refer it to you. Again, you see, the harsh words. You see, again heart. The harsh words fall back unheard from wisdom's throne. You have been talking very wisely, but it's not really wisdom at all. You see. After all, the passion, the emotion is something which will not admit wisdom. Not admit. So, when Plato lived for 82 years, not even once in his life did he smile. He says, if you smile, it means that you are becoming emotional. You are becoming passionate. You are becoming emotional. And if you become emotional, if you become passionate, then the purity of reason which is there, that gets lost. That was the argument, you see. The purity of reason should be absolutely calm, serene, detached, unconcerned about anything, you see. Then only the pure reason can come out, you see. But here you are mixing up now, obviously. So, he is kind of telling to Savitri, go and read something of Plato's dialogues. Then you will not become emotional. Then your reasoning will be pure. will not be contaminated with passion. Vain is the longing to build heaven on earth. So here you have now the perfect nature, character of death, what he stands for. He essentially stands for something that will not be admitted by him, that the heaven could come and be here. He is therefore the greatest denier of the possibility of a divine life upon earth. He epitomizes the deny that no, it is not possible at all to have divine life here upon earth. And that is the statement which is making it vain is the longing to be. Now, of course, here at this point, he is talking in the context of the passionate heart of Savitri. It is your passion which is in fact defying, if at all, the possibility of heaven being built upon earth. Remove that passion, be calm, and maybe possibly heaven could be built upon earth. That is what it would imply, you see. Vain is the longing to build heaven on earth. And again, you see this line, vain is the longing to build heaven on earth. You can feel the repetition of these two sounds. Vain, heaven, and vain is the longing to build heaven on earth. You see, four ends, and then of course.
She asked us, this will be how does Yama know that the Lord of Death, that Savitri is coming on earth to build the heaven on earth?
Because the way she is talking, she is saying the dual power. She has said that already. Oh, she has already said that earlier. Vain is a longing, and again the alliteration of L and L here. So this is a very beautiful line. See, Yama is speaking, Death is speaking perfect, pure Cambridge English, you see. Vain is the longing to build heaven on earth. It's not ringing, that sound kind of thing, you see. Artificer of ideal and idea. Who are you after all? You are a creator, you are an inventor, you are a skillful person to design ideas and all that. Artificer of ideal and idea, you are talking of heaven coming here. You are a skillful person to bring those ideals and ideas here upon earth. It won't work. It's not going to work here. Artificer of ideal and idea. What is her ideal? The ideal is building heaven on earth. What is the idea? That this world will be the creation of the greater idea. This is the ideal. The idea is to bring that thing here. So there is a lot of metaphysics also in his argument, you see. Now, of course, artificer of ideal and idea, artificer of ideal and idea, you see, that is how it goes. What we have here is based on idea. There is the idea somewhere, and then that idea gets materialized, and then we have the objective world here. You think of a chair up there somewhere, the chair should be like this, and then you have a chair here. in different forms and all that. So the idea of the chair is more fundamental, archetypal, and its physical presence here is a projection of that chair here upon earth, you see. That is the idea. So your idea is to build that heaven here, and you want that thing to materialize here, you see. So this is exactly what Plato was saying. Plato had the access to the world of idea, and his whole philosophy is based on idea. What he lacked, what he was not aware of, was the real idea. Idea belongs to the overmind plane. You have got the creation in the overmind world of all kind of things. You want spectacles, you want this, you want that. Those are ideally present there, and then they get transmitted here ultimately. But what happens in the process of transmission? They undergo changes. It does not get fully reflected as it is up there. So what you see, our chair, our objects here are not really true to the idea which is there behind them up there. In other words, we live in the world of ideas, and therefore there are distortions, there are obviously therefore conflicts, and all these conflicts we see every day in our life, even now. This God, this religion, this theory, that philosophy, this ism, all these are real, they are all ideas. But when they come now here, then the conflict begins. Capitalism, communism, Marxism, whatever you want to call them, those are great ideas. In their own nature, they have some value and merit and truth also. But when they get into the operational field here, then the conflicts begin. Idea versus idea. See? That does not happen when it comes from the real idea. When the real idea materializes, then it does not lead to conflict. Idea belongs to the world of overmind. Real idea belongs to the world of supermind. The supramental real idea does not lead to conflicts then. So our religions, they are not really coming from the real idea. They are coming from the world of idea. Mind. So he is now carrying forward the same argument. Now earlier he was talking of vital, emotional and all that. Now he is talking of mental, and therefore the thrust is on mind, on thought, etc., etc. Mind, child of matter, in the womb of life. This is a perfect statement from the point of view of material evolution. After all, what is mind? It has sprung up from matter through life. Because life itself has come, according to this theory, from matter. The chemical formulation is what you call, a certain chemical formulation is what you call life. And it is out of life, mind has come. So mind, child of matter in the womb of life. This is a very complex statement. Child of matter in the womb. So he doesn't say fetus, you see. He is already a child in the womb. See. Child of matter in the womb of life, to higher levels pursues his parents' step. It is this mind which wants matter and life. They are the parents to please go up, you see. To higher levels pursues his parents. Now, his stands for a first child. Normally, it should be its, if it is going to refer to mind. Child of matter in the womb of life, to higher levels pursued his parents' step. Inept, they follow ill the daring guide, and this poor life and matter they follow this choice, wisdom, mind. Inapt, they are inapt. They follow ill, the daring guide. But mind, a glorious traveler in the sky, walks lamely on the earth with footsteps slow. Well, that is what we do. You see, we can't think too far ahead. We go step by step. We do this, then we do this, then we reason out and build upon reason, upon reason, upon reason, and carry forward. Walks lamely on the earth with footsteps slow. Hardly he can mold the life's rebellious stuff. It is very true. Mind has absolutely no control on emotion. The vital can throw away mind. Mind will suggest, tell this, do this, that, don't do that. Mind may give advice, but ultimately it is the vital which should do what it wants to do. Hardly can he mold the life's rebellious stuff. Hardly can he hold the galloping hooves of sense. Galloping hooves of sense, that is the emotion, that is the passion of life. He cannot hold those horses, Ashwa. They are always speeding constantly. Now see the construction also here. Hardly he can mold the life's rebellious stuff. Hardly can he hold the galloping hooves of sense. What poetry, you see. See here, he can. Can he? And the internal rhyme, mold and hold. There is a kind of a force coming in that. Hardly he can mold, hardly can he hold, you see. And see the purposeful variation. Hardly he can mold, hardly he can hold. If you root that, the effect is lost. So how careful the artist is to the minutiae of poetry. Hardly he can mold the life's rebellious stuff. Hardly can he hold the galloping hooves of sense. And if you scan this line, hardly, there is long short, that is a trochee. This is also, of course, a trochee. He can mold short, long, anapes. Can he mold? Again, anapes. And then the lives, short, long. And here the gal, again short, long. Life, rebellious. So rebellious, lives, rebellious stuff. So rebel, that is I am. Lies stuff, short, long, anapest. So you have got here a Pyrrhic, you have got an anapest here, you have got here an I am, here you have got again an I am, and here you have got again an anapest. Short, long. Rebel, lies stuff. And here, same thing here up to here, but here now there is a variation. Galloping hooves. Here at the end you have got the anapest, here you have got the fourth foot as the anapest. Galloping hooves of sense. The I ams and anapests are interchanged. I don't know if you are following or not. No? See, look, hardly he can mold, hardly he can hold. That we are disposed of. It is the long short, hardly. Can he hold? He can mold. Both of them are short, long. Means up to here, first part, the metrical construction is identical of trochee and anapest. Then the third foot, the lives. That is I am. Here the third foot is the gal. Again, and I am. Means up to 3 feet, both the lines have the same metrical. Now, when you come to the fourth and fifth foot, they are interchanged in these two lines. In this line, rebellious, rebel is a short long, lious stuff, it is short long. That is, it means that it is an am and an anapes. Here, galloping whose, it is short long, that is the anapes, and of sense. That is am. Means the third and fourth feet are interchanged in these two lines. Now that is important. Otherwise, if you have the same construction of feet, as we have seen, can he and he can, that variation has removed a kind of a monotony which is there. Same way, the monotony in the last two feet between this and this is removed by interchanging the feet. So these are really very fine and beautiful details as far as the poetry is concerned, the art of poetry. Hardly he can move the life's rebellious star, hardly can he hold the galloping who's of sense. See, there is no repetition. Now, if you interchange, then it becomes very big, you see. His thoughts look straight into the very heaven. He, of course, stands for that child, again, continues. They draw their gold from a celestial mine. They, who? These thoughts. These thoughts are drawing their gold from the celestial mines. Gold from a celestial mine. His acts, they work painfully a common ore. Because now there is a gold mine, therefore ore. His acts, he is of course again of the child. And they are thoughts. His acts work painfully a common ore. All thy high dreams were made by matter's mind. After all, your mind has come from matter, and all you are dreaming of is made from that. To solace is dull work in matter's jail. To get kind of a comfort, you are trapped here, you are a prisoner of thoughts. And in that prison, in the matter's jail, to get some kind of a happiness, some kind of a consolation, you are drawing those ideas. Its only house where it alone seems true. Its only house is of mind. A solid image of reality carved out being to prop the worlds of time. So to give kind of a support to the worlds of time, this is the prop we have provided. Carved out being to prop the worlds of time. Matter on the firm earth sits strong and sure. Strong and sure. So the material base is what has given rise to this creation. So it is a very strong materialist argument he is putting forward. Actually, this is important that the higher spiritual age should be preceded by a strong materialist age. All the possibilities, both good and bad, have to fully emerge before the higher can start working. The last 3 centuries after the decline of Renaissance, when came the age of reason, the Industrial Revolution in Europe, and the age of reason, what was most prominent was the materialistic approach towards life. A strong based Marxism, science, rationalism, empiricism, they became these foundational aspects of existence here for about 3 centuries. That was necessary before a new age could begin. In other words, although the avatar is born on 15th August 1872, the preparation for his arrival was going on before that for 300 years. At least for 300 years. The preparation of really putting a strong material base that was necessary for his spiritual work, you see. And then begins on that foundation the higher work. So this is what he's talking. So he is talking only of what happened before 15th August 1872. This gentleman. It is the firstborn of created things, this mind. It stands the last when mind and life are slain. And if it ended, all would cease to be. All else is only its outcome or its phase. Thy soul is a brief flower by the gardener mind. So he is the gardener. Mind is the gardener who has produced this flower. And perhaps that flower has come as a freak. Gardener, created on thy matter's terrain plot, it perishes with the plant on which it grows. For from earth's sap it draws its heavenly hue. Thy thoughts are gleams that pass on matter's verge, thy life a lapsing wave on matter's sea. So that is the materialist argument, strong. He has put very poetically, from earth's sap it draws heavenly hue. Thoughts are gleams on matter's verge. Thy life a lapsing way, it comes and goes on matter's sea. A careful steward of truth's limited means, treasuring her found her truth. Truth is feminine. Treasuring her founded facts from squandering power, it tethers mind to the tent posts of sense. So, with a rope, with a cord, it is tied to the post of sense. To a leaden grey routine clamps life's caprice. So that is how the vivacity, the freedom of life is held back by mind, and ties all creatures with the cords of law. Cord, tether, they all go together. Cord, law, mental formulations, rules. A vessel of transmuting alchemies, a glue that sticks together mind and life. If matter fails, all crumbling cracks and falls. All upon matter stands as on a rock. So that is the solid foundation. All upon matter stands as on a rock. That is required also. So, you have here both the aspects involved. Matter acts like a stubborn opponent for change. It does not allow change to occur. But then matter is also an opportunity. If in spite of the stubbornness of its opposition, you can enter into matter and do what you want to do in it, then it becomes stable, it becomes permanent, it remains a part of manifestation. It does not get dissolved, it does not disappear, it cannot dissolve. All upon matter. So matter is an opportunity also. Matter is an opposition, but matter is also an opportunity. In fact, it is a kind of a necessity. If the divine powers have to come and remain here without getting dissolved or disappearing or swallowed up by anything, it is the firmness which is given to them by matter. So matter is an opportunity, it is a necessity also. All upon matter stand as in a rock, as in a rock. The way the statue of Vivekananda stands at Kanyakumari on a rock, firm, in spite of all the waves coming and dashing in. All upon matter stand as in a rock. Yet, this security and guarantor of matter, he gives you the protection, guarantor. He gives the warrant, firmness. Pressed for credentials, an impostor proves a cheat of substance where no substance is. That is mind. An appearance and a symbol and a knot. Its forms and no original right to birth. They have no right to birth because they come from matter. All its aspects of a fixed stability is the cover of a captive motionless world. An order of the steps of energy is done, whose footmarks live forever the same sign. A concrete face of unsubstantial time, a trickle dotting the emptiness of space, a stable seeming movement without change, yet change arrives, and the last change is death. There is no further change beyond that. Total dissolution, that is the last change. That is my creation. That is his boast, his assertion. So, this is the complete epitomization of the power of his denial of the divine possibility. Last change is death. What seemed most real once is nihil show. It is everything, what you see here is a creation of the zero, of the void, of nothingness. Its figures are snare that trap and prison the sense. The beginningless void was its artificer. Beginningless void. It has been there. You can't trace where from it has come. It is there. It has no beginning. It is the beginning of everything. And it itself has no beginning. So for him, the real creator, the real originator is this beginningless void for death. Was this artificer? It's again that word artificer comes twice. A skillful inventor. Nothing is there but aspects limned by chance and seeming shapes of seeming energy. You see shapes, they appear to be so. Of what? Of what appears to be energy. But it is not really energy. What is the beginning? The beginning is in the void. All by this mercy breathe and live a while. All think and act by the inconscience of grace. So we should be thankful to inconscience that we are here according to him. But the poor fellow is not telling me, all right, all by death's mercy breathe and live a while. Okay, I may accept that. But then, what for I am here? That is not telling me. That is not telling me. What for I am here at all? think and act by inconscience. For what? I am here. Yes, by this grace, by that grace, I don't mind, I don't care about that. But what for I am here, that he is not telling. Ultimately, his whole point is, you will go back to where from you have come. Last change is death. So all this looks, okay, you come here, live for a while, and again go back to death. But then why I have come at all? That he is not disclosing. If there is any content in that. And seeming steps of saving, all by death's mercy breathe and live a while. All think and act by the inconscience grace. Addict of the roseate luxury of thy thoughts. So, now he is giving this, you are addicted to the luxury of thoughts, of your thoughts and ideas. Turn not thy gaze within thyself to look at visions in the gleaming crystal. You have got the crystal glass. Don't look into that thing. What is that? Through mind. Don't look through mind. Close not thy lids to dream the forms of God. So don't close your eyes and start dreaming the forms of God. Visions. At last, to open thy eyes, consent and see the stuff of which thou and the world are made. So according to him, you should know, open your eyes, don't close your eyes and start imagining all those kind of things. Stuff of which thou and the world are, what are they made of? You are born from inconscience. You are living at death's mercy. The stuff of which thou and the world are made. Inconscient, now he's elaborating on that. Inconscient, in the inconscient void, inexplicably, a moving world sprang forth. So out of it, this world has come forth. A while secure, happily insensible, it could not rest content with its own. It has come out, but now helplessly it has to do something because it has come into existence. It could not rest content with its own truth. I am here somehow. Don't ask me how. Now, after having come here, I become restless, try to find out this thing, that thing, etc. Inconscient and still. Now here, inexplicably moving, a world sprang forth. Inexplicably. How it has happened from the inconscient void, don't ask me that. It is inexplicable. That the void can give rise to all that thing, it is inexplicable. Now, in a way, this is rebuttal also of Shankaracharya's theory of illusion. This is all Maya, Mithya, false, illusion. But then out of the truth, how has that illusion arisen? How out of truth, out of Satya, how has Mithya come? When you insist him to answer that, then he says, it is inexplicable. It is inexplicable. Anirvachaniya, that is the phrase, that's the word here. Anirvachaniya. It cannot be vachaniya, it cannot be expressed, it cannot be anir, it cannot be anirvachaniya, inexplicable. So, he is borrowing Shankara's theory of illusion and saying, out of the inconscient void it has sprung up. How? Inexplicable. Keep quiet. A while secure, happily insensible, it could not rest content with its own truth. So according to Shankara, therefore, if the world is an inexplicable illusion, and if it is mithya, if it is false, it is an illusion, the best way is get out of it, forget about this world, and go and live up there in the world of truth. There is nothing here. Go and live there. In other words, there is absolutely no possibility of a divine manifestation in this world of illusion, according to him. So, Shankaracharya is a kind of a death of another type. This man saying from here, he says from there. You forget about his creation and go and live up there. So he's using, in other words, in a way, it's that. For something on his nascent breast was born. Something on his nascent breast was born. How? Don't ask me that. It was born. Condemned to see and know. Once it is born, it is helpless. It has to see and know and feel and love. It watched its acts, imagined a soul within, so it thinks that there is a soul within, you see. It growled for truth and dreamed of self and God. When all unconscious was, then all was well. So go back and become unconscious, sleep merrily there, and everything will be perfectly all right. Why the struggle, why you want divine life and all that, is a struggle. Forget about all that. When all unconscious was, then all was well. It's a very powerful denier of the materialist. The second chapter, this chapter of Life Divine. See? I, death, was king and kept my regal state, designing my unveiled, unerring plan, creating with a calm, insentient heart. In my sovereign power of unreality, obliging nothingness to take a form, infallibly, my blind, unthinking foes, making by chance a fixity like fez, by whim, the formulas of necessity, founded on the hollow ground of inane, the sure bizarrerie of nature's scheme. So, founded the hollow ground of inane, the sure bizarrerie of nature's scheme. By how? By whim, the formulas of necessity. By making a chance a fixity. So, out of chance and fixity, he is again mixing up the Greek philosophy of chance and necessity. And it's all because of me. And then he makes a Sankhya statement. He employs how it happened by employing the Sankhya process of material creation. What is the Sankhya process of material creation? This is what he is going to briefly tell. I curved a vacant ether into space. This whole vacant space out of ether I made first space. A huge expanding and contracting breath hovered, huge expanding and contracting breath. See, well, let me now tell you in advance first. I curved vacant ether, that is Akash. That is the first element of the Sankhya. Contracting breath, that is Vayu, the second. The ether, the air, breath, that is second element. Third, fire. Teja, Agni. I struck out the supreme original spark and spread its sparks rant armies to the inane. Now this is a triple fire. First is I made sparks rant armies to the inane, manufactured stars, platoons of invisible force. So this is the triple fire which works. And then, so you have got first Akash, then you have got Vayu, then you have got Agni or Tej, and then you have got Prithvi, earth. I formed earth's beauty out of atom and gas and built from chemic plasm, the living man. So that is the material creation. So he has briefly told you the Sankhya way which he has employed to bring out this material creation. There is no water. Well, Mass is the platoons of the invisible dance. No, there is no plateau. That comes later on. Plasm and living man. Yeah. Yeah. I formed Earth's beauty out of atom and gas and built from chemic plasm.
How can he think that it was him? Does he really think it was him?
For every material creation, this is the process.
Yeah, but how does he think that
How does he do? He doesn't give the formula. I have done it.
he think he did it? He didn't do it.
He says, I curved.
No, but it's not true.
Well, that is what he is asserting.
Yeah, but how can he think this?
Well, he can assert.
He just talks.
You see, because there is no other creator. If everything has come out of my sovereign power,
But how does he think it was him?
he is asserting. He is asserting. he is asserting.
He doesn't do that.
Oh, he is asserting.
How can he tell this?
He says, after all this material creation, because ultimately everything goes back to me.
No, it's also not true.
That is what he is asserting.
Yeah.
You see, that is what you are asserting. He is asserting. Now, actually,
That's what he thinks.
he is asserting. He is giving his philosophy, his way of doing things.
But he knows he didn't do it.
And he is employing the correct method. For any material creation out of non-material thing, you have to follow the Sankhya process of material creation. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Aap, and Prithvi. Actually, we have got a very beautiful description of that. We have already seen in the Book of Eight how Narada is coming.
He is also contradicted himself because just the last he said
Here, I formed
Yeah, Earth's beauty out of.
He
So,
confirmed that there is a beauty. So before he didn't.
Before he denied it.
Yeah, he denied the beauty of the earth.
out of atom and gas, well, that beauty is not in that sense of what we call beauty. Yeah. See, after all, my creation, you see, after all, it's my creation, therefore it is for me always beautiful. 106.4. Below him circling burned the myriad suns. Narada is coming from above, from heaven, and he sees the material creation down below. And these suns are there. He bore the ripples of the etheric sea. Etheric sea. While he's coming down now, etheric, that is Akash, ether. The primal air brought first the joy of touch. That is the quality of air, Vayu. A secret spirit drew its mighty breath. Then it started breathing. So you have got Akash, you got your Vayu. Then the character of Vayu is this one, contracting and expanding this huge world. It keeps on, that is the breath. The secret might of the creative fire. How it is the matter which is really governed, is created by fire. Form, definiteness is given by fire. The secret might of the creative fire displayed its triple power to build and form. It is Agni who is the builder of form. So if a new body, a divine body has to come, it has to come through the agency of the fire. Agni, Divya Agni, triple fire. Yeah, he is describing. Now, the triple fire is basically Saura Agni, Vidyuta Agni, and Jada Agni. He is going to explain. Saura Agni, Vidyuta Agni. Saura means solar fire.
Solar Agni and what else?
Supramental.
Solar and supramental.
Yeah. And then Saura. Then Vidyuta, electric fire. Vidyut, electricity. And then comes Jada Agni. What we see here. What we are using, the Jada Agni.
What is it?
Jala means heavy.
Mr. Kumar, what is it? Electrical, solar, and supramental. No, solar is supramental and electrical, and the third one.
Jada Agni. Jada means heavy.
Ordinary fire.
In fact, he is going to explain to you. The secret might of the creative fire displayed is triple power to build and form. What are the triple power? Infinite sparse weaving dance, nebulous units grounding shape and mass, foundation of pattern of the world, radiance bursting into the light of the stars. He has described the triple fire. Nothing is left.
Supramental fire, how does
Saura, Surya.
and what? Sun fire.
Yes, sun. Sun is a.
Solar and
Supramental fire has two different. No, it's the same.
Solar and super.
Yeah.
Solar and supramental is the same.
Yeah. Well,
Ordinary fire.
shape and mass, that is how you get concrete. See, there was ether, there is no form, there is no concrete, there is no definite. It is a fire which gives you shape and mass. Yeah. See, you may have a shape, it may be hollow. It may be hollow, you see. Shape and mass. And then after that, he feels the sap of life, sap of death. When he's coming down into the material creation, Narad is feeling the sap, that is the aap, by water. So you have got Akash, then Vayu, then Agni, Tejas, then Apas, and then into solid matter, dense communion, plunging and his obscure oneness of form, his obscure oneness of form, that is the earth. Into solid matter, earth.
Obscure oneness is the earth.
Dense communion. He has identified himself with material base. So otherwise, how does he come down? He felt a sap of life, a sap of death. So at that time, the appearance of death also comes into picture. At that stage, you see. Into solid matter, dense communion, that is the earth. So in two sentences, we see how Narad has changed his spiritual body into the material body. Otherwise, how does he come? And he has to walk into the palace.
Then when he goes, he dematerializes.
Of course, the sheets are dissolved one by one and goes back. Goes back one by one. I don't know whether I had told you earlier or not. See, you know of the great soul, Paul Brunton. You must have Brunton, you heard of him. So, so one day he came to India. He was here and there and all kind of things. You see, Raman Maharshi ashram and whatnot. So one day he went to a person who had a power to materialize a dead body. An occultist, you see, an occultist. So he said, I want to see it. And then he told Paul Brunton, that man, a magician or whatever you want to call him, he told him, come tomorrow, but come with a living bird. Bird. Yeah. Hen. Yeah. So he went there in the morning to his house. He went there in the morning and he said, okay, you keep it on the table. He kept it on the table. And he wrenched his neck completely. And he was dead. Huh? Yeah, he died. It died. Then he said, you make sure whether it is dead or not. And then he found that it was really dead. And he kept it directly on the table. Then after some time, the bird started flying up in the room.
The same bird.
That bird, which was dead, lying on the table. It got up, started flying in the room, and then
Without
again.
head?
Huh?
Without head?
Without, yeah.
Without head.
No, everything, completely, as a bird. Completely.
Not like a chicken.
No, it was not a headless chicken. It was not a headless chicken. Yeah. And then it really flew for a while,
And then it died.
for a few seconds or a few minutes or whatever it is, and then again it collapsed and came down on the table. So this man was stunned. He was really surprised. Yeah, Paul Brunton was really, yes, it has happened. A dead person had gone up and whatever, but it happened. The point is, it happened. Then, of course, he didn't persist on asking how it happened and what happened and all that thing. But actually, the mechanism is that if you bring down a certain vital force, it can enter into a dead body and it can become living. That vital, if you pull down the vital force, it can enter into the dead body and it can become living and move around also as a common usual thing. But then why does it not persist? It cannot, because the vital force does not stay there. It withdraws. The moment it withdraws, again it is dead. It is dead. Same thing. See, the other example is, of course, very famous example we know all. When Sri Aurobindo was living in the guest house, the stones were falling for 3 days and all that kind of a thing, you see. They were real stones and whatnot, you see. And then again, after some stopped. Now, how did that happen? The person had a certain power, certain capacity to get those things materialized. And they did get materialized and they were falling. And when that force was withdrawn, they had disappeared. In other words, as a physicist, I would have liked to pick up one of those stones, take to the laboratory and analyze what kind of stone it is, what kind of matter it is, what kind of chemicals are inside there and all that, you see. But they are not available like that. Because the moment it is withdrawn, it disappears. Those stones don't exist anymore. Same thing. So, in fact, here also Narad has applied a certain spiritual force and through the Sankhya process got materialized. And when he went back, he withdrew that force and then assumed his spiritual form again. So that is how it goes on, you see. Now this man, he is telling you exactly the same story. Death. I curved the vacant ether into space. He starts with ether. I curved the vacant ether into space. A huge expanding and contracting breath, that is Vayu. Actually, the whole description of this thing is available in very great details in Life Divine. If I remember rightly, page 85 or 87, something like that, around that. The Sankhya philosophy in the Life Divine. A huge expanding and contracting breath harbored the fires of the universe. The triple fire. Marshal the platoons of the invisible dance. I formed Earth's beauty out of atom and gas. It is out of that now what you see here. And build from chemic plasm the living man. That is how man has come into existence out of matter. So that is the materialist base. Now, there is a little problem.
Quite a few problems.
Pardon me?
Quite a few problems.
This is a problem, no?
Yeah.
I curved the vacant, pressed the vacant ether into space. The ether, there is nothing, into space. So, space is a product of this ether. By pressing, by compressing, that is how space has come into existence. In the new edition, you have curved, C-U-R-V-E-D. What do you have? C-U-R-V-E-D. Huh? What do you have? V or E? V. V.
Kobe. Curve.
Curve.
Kobe. Curve, that means make it.
Curve,
Not curved. This is curved. B. It's not-
Curve means pressing into action. Curved. I pressed it. I pressed the ether.
Kobe, curve. Kobe. And curve, what does it mean?
Curve is a curvature.
Yes, but curve, what does it mean?
Curve means it is pressed. Curve.
Compression. So it's not, this is a fall.
Curve.
But it has curved B. Here it is B. B. Same spelling.
She has B.
B. You have got B. Then yours is not sufficiently old, sufficiently new. The revised edition has curve. C-U-R-V-E. C-U-R-V-E. The revised edition has C-U-R-V-E. I curved ether. See. Now, how it has happened, etc., because I don't like curve, therefore I will make it curve. Why do I make it curve? Curve? Because after all, Shivan was a Bengali, Nirod Baran was also a Bengali, and for them V is B. You see? B is B.
It's more logic, this one.
Yeah.
Because curve and vacant
Yeah.
doesn't have any.
There is no other argument, there is no other detail available apart from this. You see. So they have changed it. No. Curve is not possible. How can you curve? Yeah, well, that is so. Therefore, these Bengalis, they mix up P and B. So,
This is wrong.
huh?
This B is wrong.
What we have all along is curve.
From Shabindu.
What is there in the revised edition of 1993 is curve B, and that B has been changed to B. Sorry, B has been changed to V
Because they are Bengali.
because you pronounce Bengalis pronounce. So that is how it happens. Curve has become curved in the revised edition. Actually, it is curve. There is no question of B coming at all. And this is a fallacy. I am extending the argument, you see. I am kind of giving a justification. A Bengali friend of mine came one day to my house with an invitation card for his daughter's marriage. And he says, I come to invite you for the wedding ceremony of my daughter. But that fellow, being a Bengali, he was saying wedding ceremony, he said wedding ceremony.
Wedding ceremony. Oh, wedding ceremony.
You guys. You are fighting.
Did you go?
Yeah. See, that is what these Bengalis do, see. Uh, there is another important thing. You see, you know the story of Ramayana, Rama's. Now, Rama has vanquished Ravana. And now they are all going back to Ayodhya. Rama and the whole party and all the warriors, they are back to Ayodhya. So they stayed there for a few months and all that. Now the departure, time of departure, all these guests has come. They had to go back to their respective places and all that. So this man, okay, you go and rule this thing. Rama said, go and rule this, go and rule this, go and rule this thing. And of course, Hanuman said, no, I want to reside here in your heart. That is what Maruti, Hanuman said. But then what about his warriors? They are called Vanar. So Rama said, okay, I will give a new kingdom to you and go and live there, Gauda Bengal. So he sent them to Bengal. So all these Vanars, they started. Vanar means monkey.
Oh no, I understand. You understand? Yeah. Well,
So they went there and they started ruling. Now naturally these Bengalis, they had to receive them very respectfully. So they started calling them Vanarji. Vanar. But then they cannot say Va, they start saying Banerjee. So all of them become Banerjees now, you see. So that is how they got curved here